everybody's fucking reading long.
Yeah, my problem. I read too fast. So you're way better at like pacing and timing everything. Because I would read this in like 1 minute when would make no sense to any human alive.
Alright, sorry. Go ahead.
Don't worry about it. You're cool. You're cool. You're cool.
You literally have dyslexia. It's okay.
Yeah, you can't. This is cool. You're cool. Don't every day just cool.
No one's mad. Just if you make a mistake, just correct yourself and keep going.
I mean,
or just keep going and don't correct yourself.
I would punch them to death, so they would die.
Really?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Lauren will tell you all about how she'd do murder for you, like for the next hour.
Probably. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Have to do it to him.
So we are here doing the very stories you sent us for Valterra. These love stories are also going to play a part in our game with your characters. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through the story. I'm going to hand it to them. And then at the end, we're going to kind of discuss what like their characters would think of the story as they find it in game, which is not the same as what we think because we all think they're really cool. I love all of these. Okay, so are you ready? This one is from JoeDP, and it's Aren Tomas. Okay.
Journal of Aren Tomas, Mercenary. Most of the journal is too stained by dirt, mud, and mold to read. These are the undamaged passages. Day 17. Vortimer died today. We burned him. He wouldn't want to be buried only to come back controlled by the curse. We swept his ashes into an empty water jug, and every day one of us will carry it. He was the last of the Dalai, and he got us out of that city alive, and he was dead. We all talked and held a vote for the leader, and nobody could replace Vortimer, but somebody had to make the hard choices, and we all knew it. They picked me. I don't know why. All I know about leadering is how to get a bunch of booze-soaked pigs out of the wine shop on the march, or how to kick a dog soldier into proper battle line. If I'm the best we got, good gods help us. I told them if I was leader, I'd run this group like a bunch of mercenaries. Hard marches, short rations, watches, the lot. If they still wanted me as leader, then I'd accept. I was hoping to scare them, but it didn't work. Day 21. Mackle told me we got enough food and water for 3 more days. I ordered half rations. There were some complaints, but I told them that they asked for this, and if they didn't like it, they could unelect me. And I'd be happy to be back out making sure none of these monsters killed them. It didn't work, and I'm still leader. At noon, I sent Kira's little boy, Endry, up one of the trees to see if we were close enough to the edge of this thing. He came back and said no. Everyone sighed, and I think I did too. I told him good job and got us moving again. We need more food and water. Half rations won't get us that far. Hunting is dangerous, and everyone who can carry a carcass is someone who can fight when the monsters attack. But I'm not sure how else to get what we need. Water should take care of itself. I've been feeling the rain in my bad leg for hours. It should be here soon.
Ooh, double-sided.
Yeah.
It's a dense one.
Yeah. Oh, I meant... Okay. Cool. No. Day 22. It rained all night last night, and most of today. We filled the water jugs, drank them dry, and filled them again. No hunting today, but we'll try again tomorrow. No sign of monsters. Maybe they just don't like the rain. Day 22 addendum. It rained again.
Monsters are coming, I fucking know it.
We were all...
Oh, yeah, they don't know what happened. I do. I know. They don't know.
We don't know. We have never read
Joe,
it.
this is really well written. Like,
yeah, I love it.
This is super... This is really good. I really like this.
We were all soaked and miserable, but we kept on. I figured that if the things wouldn't attack in the rain, we needed to get as far as we could. But then they jumped us. They were made of mud and slime and vines, and they got Tennel first. Me and my other fighters dropped everything when he screamed. I was carrying Vortimer's jug, and the Tennel's scream was cut off before it hit the ground. We ran over, but it was too late. One of the things just sucked him up into itself, legs kicking and jerking. We all attacked together.
You look so jazzed.
I don't know how many there were. They flowed in and out of each other in the darkness and rain. We hacked away at them, but it didn't seem to do much good. They swallowed Rallen and Welter before the rest of the fighters broke and ran. I wish I had done the same. I was alone, soaked, mud running down my arms and splashing on my face, panting and slashing and hacking at these mud things. I kept stepping back and hoped that the rest of them got away. I slipped on something hard and fell. The mud things loomed over me, mud and slime dripping down on my face and into my eyes. I tried to get up, but I couldn't get a grip. It was too slick. I was already imagining drowning in the mud, and as it pulled me deep up inside of them as they did with the others. Suddenly, one was on fire, and the others drew away. Someone shouted for me to get up, and I scrambled back until I bumped into a tree. I pulled myself up with it, and I turned to where they were shouting from. It was Harold. She had an oil lamp in one hand, and she was pointing away from the things with the other. I ran, and so did she. I don't know how I kept up,
Like her.
or how we didn't trip or break our necks, or stumble headfirst into a tree and knock ourselves out. But we didn't. We arrived where everyone else had gathered, gasping and bleeding from crashing through branches and thorns and bushes, but alive. The other fighters looked at me and looked away. I don't blame them for what they did. Maybe if I wasn't the leader, I would have done the same. Or if the monsters had been something else, I don't know what makes someone break, but I know everyone does. Once I caught my breath, I got everyone moving again. We won't sleep tonight anyway, so we might as well make some progress.
Who's that fucking Civil War documentarian guy? Ken Burns?
Yeah.
Like, at the beginning of this, I was like, yo, put some Ken Burns ass, like Civil War ass documentary music under this, and this would be a fucking bop. Kat, you're fucking crushing it. This is so good.
Very dramatic reading.
Yeah,
thank you.
damn, bro.
Day 30. This morning when Barrows cut up the last chunk of deer for roasting in the breakfast fire, he saw it had some kind of green shoots running through it. We threw it into the woods. The wolves are still following us. No
Natural
attacks.
Harbor.
The one time with the mansion and the things, that was one time!
Teddy bear picnic.
One teddy bear picnic, you gotta always throw that in.
One teddy bear picnic!
Gotta always throw the teddy bear picnic
One
in.
teddy bear picnic
I mean,
and one deer roasting with weird shoots on it. Don't worry about it. The wolves are still following us.
It's pronounced woofs.
The woofs are still following us. I'm going to say it dramatically. I just say woofs instead. The woofs are still following us. No attacks so far, but the smell is keeping game away, and Denise tells me that they would probably attack a lone hunter. She's the expert, so we'll wait and try to see if we can hunt again. At least we have plenty of water. I don't know why the woofs are following us. Maybe they're hoping we know how to get out of this damned forest. Maybe they're hoping we know how to get out of this damned forest. They'd be wrong. I send Endry up one of the trees again. Even with his foot cut, he's still our best climber. No progress, though. For all I know, we're walking in circles. Only Harold knows how really worried I am. We talked every night, ever since the attack on the mud things. I wish I'd met her earlier, but maybe she would have just ignored me before. An old mercenary doesn't have much to offer a scholar. If the rest of us were smart, we'd make her the leader. She got most of our ideas anyway.
There's fucking layers.
I offered to quit and give her the job, but she turned me down. I would have too. Day 33. The wolves attacked last night. They killed Bran and Kel and Lear. We can see them through the trees walking back and forth, just watching us. They're circling us like vultures. Their eyes are green like leaves. Denise says this is not how wolves act. Oh, damn, wolves. This is not
No,
how
it's okay. You can say wolves. It's okay.
I let that one slip.
I'm sorry I made the bit. I regret it. You were right.
Never regret.
Denise says this is not how wolves act. She's scared. So am I. If we're... Cuts off. The wolves attacks again.
God damn it.
Shit. The wolves attacks again. In the middle of the day. We drove them off, but they're still nearby. There's something wrong with them. I saw Sen break one's back with his mallet, and it still dragged itself after him, snapping its jaws. I pinned one to the ground with my sword, and it writhed about, still trying to get at me. But maybe we can get something out of this. I'm going to gather everyone who can fight. Not just what's left of the guards and the mercenaries, but anyone strong enough and fast and has a weapon. We're gonna wait for our chance and we're gonna charge them. I'll leave everyone else with Harold and a few older folks to protect them. If this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Day 22.
It has been 5 days.
Yeah.
This dude's life suck.
This person's life, not great.
This sucks shit.
Day 22. It rained all last night.
Oh, you read that one.
Oh, wait.
I realized you just went back in time.
Correct. I did that one already.
Correctamundo.
Day 33. Addendum.
Okay, much better. Still, only been like 2 weeks. Still shitty.
So, okay. So the last one was day 33. This is day 33 addendum. It was added.
Right.
A Dewey-Dendimal system.
We killed the wolves. Denise tracked them to where they were grouped and we charged, and they charged to meet us. It was brutal. They wouldn't run, and even the almost dead ones could hurt us. They tore Zav's throat out when she slipped on a mossy rock. They hamstrung Leek, Alb, and Rickard. They can't walk and we can't carry them. And I don't know how they'll survive. When we made it back to camp, we saw the wolves attack them too. Harold and the others had finished off some of them and kept the rest at bay. But it was clear that they were tired and hurt. Harold was bitten in the leg. Not bad, so we cleaned it up. We were lucky there weren't enough wolves to overwhelm the people we left, but they were a lot tougher than I thought. But our path forward is clear, and I hope we can make the most of it.
What a fucking wolves.
Sometimes it's like that.
Sometimes
it'd be like that on this bitch of a vol.
Sometimes you feel like a wolf. Sometimes
It's a song?
it's got a lot of
It's
wolves.
from Cats the Musical?
It's cats. Day 36. Leek and Al died last night. The fever finally did them in. Denise decided to stay with them. She was married to Al. We tried to convince her to come with us, but it was like talking to a stone. We left her and we understood. Harold and I stayed close together all day after we left Denise behind. Day 38. We can see the edge. I set Indra up the tree again, and he... Andre? What was I saying before? Andre? I've been saying Andre or Andre? Endry. I sent Endry up a tree again, and he could see the forest end just before the horizon. We all cheered, Harold kissed me, and I kissed her back. It's 2 or 3 days away, less if we march all night. I can't believe it. We're gonna make it. We're going to live.
Wait a minute. This is a lost story. Wait a minute.
I want to cry.
No! Me too!
But I need to get this group in order before we can get out of here. I'll just have to cry later. Day 40.
Look, I can't say that. You guys are I can't say that.
We'll reach the
Shut the fuck up, Lauren, you absolute
I'm
cretin.
not gonna say that.
We'll reach the edge today if nothing attacks us, and something will. We can hear it groaning far behind us, but every time we hear it, it's closer. I don't think the curse wants us to leave. There are only a few of us left. We left the city with 57, and now it's 15.
Oh my god.
It's been terrible. Worse than any battle or march I was ever in. The stuff I've seen and done over the past month will haunt me forever. But we're almost free. This is almost a memory.
It's going great.
About to go bad.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I hear it again.
Oh.
It's close.
Maybe you know that.
I'm going to give this journal to Harold. I hope it helps her somehow when she gets out. If it doesn't, just throw it away. A different script begins here.
Can I be the different script? No, fine, you do it. You do it. I'm sorry. That was super presumptuous of me. You do it.
She got the method.
I'm just so excited I want to read it. You go.
Yeah. He wants spoilers. Let me.
Yeah, desperately. Because I read faster than I speak.
Day 41. In the morning, the sun rose and shone only dimly, as it does every day walking through the corrupted forest. We tramped on, heads down, fear battling hope in our hearts. We were all quiet, afraid of drawing the beast that followed into our midst. I was in the front of our struggling column of refugees, walking with Aren, and watching as his perpetual frowns flickered into a smile as we sighted the edge of this corrupted forest, shining like sunlight through a break in the clouds. He turned to me and opened his mouth to speak when the beast burst out of the ground into the middle of us.
Oh no!
It was a colossus of branches and boulders bound with vines.
It can cast burrow.
Its bellow was the sound of a rock slide. It stomped on poor Barros and scooped up Endre, our young and cheerful scout, and flung him against the bole of an ancient tree before we could even blink. Aren unlimbered his long sword. Get the rest of them out, he said. I stood stunned. I couldn't believe it. He was going to fight this thing. No, we all run! He shook his head. It'll chase us. It's the curse. It wants to keep us here. He looked at me. You can do it. For me. I nodded. He charged the thing, shouting incoherently. I turned away and called the rest of the party. Run! Run! Let's head for the exit! We all ran like gazelles. Rickard fell behind, as did Lena and Maris. The rest of us burst through the cursed forest and tumbled into the plain beyond. Freedom was like a balm. The sun shone over our heads with a happy, warm, dry brightness, like a friendly welcome after a long journey. The grass of the plain was short and brown and dry and pricked me through my leaf, and mud-stained rags like blood flowing back into an awakened limb. It was glorious, and all I could do was revel in it. After a few moments of breathing the fresh air, free air, I climbed to my feet and turned back to the forest. All the rest of the refugees had scrambled away except Burl, one of the fighters. We walked up to the edge of the forest and peered in.
Oh no, there's only a little bit left.
We could see nothing except a confusing jumble of trunks, vines, branches, and leaves. It was difficult to understand how we made it through this twisted and tangled place. It looked as cursed as I knew it was. We looked for a long time, and I shouted, Aren! Once, but not twice. I was afraid I would summon the beast out of the forest and the curse with it. We waited until sunset and then left. Further south, we met the rest of the refugees who looked up at us, and hopefully we approached, but we looked away when we were alone. A weight lies on my heart as I write this, but I cannot stain these pages with my tears. They are all that's left. And that's it. That is the story of Aren Tomas, mercenary.
Fuck.
So.
I mean, people survive, so I'm that.
Yeah, I will
how
say.
How did the story get lost?
What do you mean? Well, this I will say happened before even the creation of Brienna's son. This was something that I would say was early on.
This felt like it was like immediately after.
Right, which is really cool. So
super old
story.
Super fucking cool. Which
so like even
time
if
is enough
people
to lose
survive,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Time is enough
Time's
to lose
enough to lose
anything.
anything.
So how would your wonderful characters feel after reading this? What do you feel about them? Do you believe them? What do you think?
Would Korcha have ever heard of the Delay? Because that sounds like a noble house, like a lost noble house. Is that something that perhaps they would have learned about?
Like a history?
Probably, but it would be kind of like you would have to have like strong knowledge of the history of.
Someone have to say I would have to have a formal education in the matter.
Yeah, I would say you would have to have a formal education in the matter.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, this one ripped. This one was really good. Korcha probably thinks that this dude is kind of a chump.
I feel like Korcha thinks everyone's a chump.
Why? All right, I'm just curious.
No, it's so.
I know.
Korcha's feelings are complicated on the matter,
Right?
Because dude is clearly super heroic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Korcha thinks that heroes are just really great first corpses. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. This dude's clearly very strong and very brave and very heroic and very loyal, but that's what gets your ass killed. So, equal parts this motherfucker slaps and this dude is a fucking goofball. This dude's a chump.
So So Ivana.
I don't just want it to be like, oh, he thinks he's the fucking coolest hero. Like,
I think that's just really funny. Like the first, he's a chump.
He's got a chump.
No, it's just really the funniest way you said it.
I guess Ivana would feel like this is an example of the Valterra coming into her power in the beginning, like super powerful and like on the edges now of the forest. It's not as strong because it's overstretched, kind of a thing. But all of these sacrifices made it as large as it is now. So
that's a positive.
That's a positive.
Yeah, this was like the initial feeding and fertilization.
Right, these were necessary fertilizer for what Valterra has become.
So Ivana, this was a good time.
Cordia thinks Ivana is a psychopath.
but like, you know, like it's sad, but like these stories are what these people should be revered because they were the first.
It's like a noble sacrifice.
The reason why the Valterra is so plentiful now is because of these people.
So not Cordia. Ivana gives big respect.
Yeah, big respect. Okay. I mean, they were scared, and this guy was scared, but still went in. He faced the Valterra in a way that he knew how, and he protected the people he could. And the Valterra, in its raw beauty, before it even had the sophisticated knowledge of it now, he was able to stand up to it, which is pretty brave.
That's pretty cool.
So for her, she's like, yeah, they should be respected. He did what he could, and he became precious fertilizer for what Valterra is now.
If I can make... So I'm thinking maybe we do more structure, where it's like, one of us makes a suggestion of like, a physical aspect of the manifestation, and then the other one makes a suggestion of what their character thinks the physical aspect manifestation could be, like a subconscious thought. Cordia's subconscious thought would probably be blood-splattered rock or stone. So, like, in this thing's body is stone that is sort of covered in, like, maybe, like, red sap to look like blood or just blood. Like, there is clear sort of stony, swordy, shieldy elements to this.
Okay, that's cool.
I wanted the parts of the story that I really liked was like the wolf parts and the mudman part too. So maybe like his skeleton or something is with the boulder arm with the blood spattering. Ooh. And like mud is mixed in with it obviously, and then like a wolf-headed like pauldron on the side.
I like that. So what if we take that in a slightly different direction? We go full on the wolf thing. Like fuck the sword and the shield. Toss it in the trash where it belongs.
Day.
That was not as inspired as your thing. Wolf body, like blooded, stoned, like fur or claws or fangs or talons or something like aspects of this like rooted wolf form is like lashed together blood rock in this like very lupinal form.
Is Vulpino like a Vulpix?
Vulpino would be fox.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean Vulpix like Pokemon.
Vulpix is Vulpino.
I know, but that's not what I was thinking in my head.
But you're right.
It's okay. Well, what if it was like a large wolf with that as well? Because of all the people that died, maybe it's got multiple bones. Way too many bones in this wolf.
That would, yeah.
Larger than life manifestation, like the respect that they would both sort of have for this dude's strength.
Yeah, would be like all the people he tried to protect, all the people he lost.
So then rather than statting him like a character, we'll still do a little bit of that, but we'll focus this one more, base it off of maybe the dire wolf stat block.
Yeah, probably.
And then add these cool parts.
Add the cool extra stuff on top of it. Yeah, like give it an armor bonus and stuff like that.
What if it was like an armored wolf with the stone?
I think it needs to have some of that ragged grotesqueness of Valterra just sort of like lashing together available materials.
Well, maybe it has vines coming out of it.
What if the head is super well carved?
And the rest of the body is more like coming apart.
The head is like a literal grotesque from like a statue somewhere else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so like it's like the lashed head of like a literal grotesque like where the wolf head goes.
Yeah, and then the rest of it is like the bones of the people that were killed.
Bones, vines,
the mud. Yeah. Like there's a huge stone in the middle from where that one golem, like where the golem absorbed them, I guess, would be the thing.
That one fucking slaps.
Yeah.
This one's really good.
Okay. That was really great.
Yeah. Do you have a jingle?
Joe,
oh my god.
Joe made this and he's here to say what Aren Tomas said in a major way.
Thank you for the jingle.
Wow, kill the feed.
No, I'm not. You shush your mouth. You shush your mouth. All right, so thank you again.
These jingles give me life.
I love the jingles. Thank you so much for everything.
Put so much
You're all
effort
really
into it.
creative.
Yeah, I know, they're
and
totally
the
on
fact
a
that you're
lower
even
for
willing to
shit
play
post.
in this space means a lot to us. So thank you so much.
This
and
one's really cool. And I'm glad that we got this one in one take so you could get our actual live reactions.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, our computer issues have been not great, but
Yeah.
we're working on it.
If you watched the other one, that was like take 5. If you're watching this one, this is take 2. 2.
One.
We got like one paragraph into the first take before I accidentally kicked the camera.
Oh, so yeah, technically,
Thank you for
it's like
covering
1
for
and a
me.
half. But yeah, so yeah, thank you again, and thank you.
Killed it.
Oh, I like